I'm looking here for cues, but I'm not getting any cues.
It's like super energetic, like electronic, like dun, dun,
like
dun,
EDM,
dun, dun. Not EDM. It's I don't even
like pop
know.
on drugs.
Yeah, it's pop on steroids. The artistic point of it is that as an artist, you're always growing. You're always, evolving in a sense. Who you are as an artist on Tuesday may not be who you are as an artist
On Tuesday night.
on Tuesday night. Yeah, you might suddenly decide, I have had an epiphany and I hate everything I've done in the past. And that's a completely normal thing, I think, as an artist. Because, that's the whole point of art, right? To look at how you and the world around you is changing and recognizing, hey, there are good and bad parts of it. I think that's a huge part of what art is.
I feel that's also like the crazy beauty in art because it's always reflecting the culture it's in, the social, the political landscape. And so I've always believed that, I know this is biased because I'm a music student, but to better understand like the culture and beliefs of the day, if you look at the music, it's very telling because it's a mirror of what's going on. So that whatever you said is 100% true. Like art is just a reflection of that.
Yeah, and actually, I was listening to this composer with my mom the other day, and we were just in the car. I was like, oh, I like it. And I was kind of surprised because I don't usually go for the whole orchestra situation. And she was like, oh,
orchestra situation. I've never heard anyone describe it as such, but very cool.
Yeah, and she was saying, oh yeah, this guy, his music is all like post World War II, so there's a kind of hint of melancholy.
Melancholy?
That's the word.
Melancholy. M-E-L, right? Melancholy. I don't know.
I'm dyslexic, man.
Okay. A sadness. A sense of sadness.
A kind of sense of, there's like a weight and almost like, I don't want to say nostalgia, but my vocabulary is really failing me right now. So, and I realize when it comes to music, I am drawn to that kind of thing, but especially because of the time that they were in, they had just come out of a world war that they thought wouldn't happen again. Of course, there are a whole bunch of other things behind it. It's not just, oh yay, we're alive, but also all of the people we've lost and what we have to rebuild. So there is that sense of hope, but there's also a huge sense of loss as well. Yeah. And I think that just ties back to what you're saying about music reflecting a time period's struggle or experience. Yeah. I actually have no idea what hyperpop is going to say about us in 20 years.
What even is hyperpop? Would I be cancelled for saying that I don't know what hyperpop is?
You're no longer like pop star Pris.
What's hyperpop though?
It's like, Charlie XCX. Dorian
I'm looking here for cues, but I'm not getting any cues.
It's like super energetic, like electronic, like dun, dun,
like
dun,
EDM.
Dun, dun. Not EDM. It's I don't even
like pop
know.
On drugs.
Yeah, it's pop on steroids.
Okay.
I think I can. But it's like super electronic. It's very high energy, upbeat tempo.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. What's Jeremy Zucker gonna like? What's it gonna look like in 20 years when we look back and say, oh yeah, Jeremy Zucker. Like now when I listen to Kesha, even I'm like, wow, this is old. This brings back memories.
Yeah.
Kesha.
Isn't that quite recent? Like 20.
It was like 2012.
Yeah.
2010. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to be the rate of the rate of growth and development in the music world because of digitalization. Can't even speak to. You're infecting
We're
me.
both hosts. We're so screwed.
Digitalization of media is going to get faster and faster. The rate. So I guess whatever we say now, maybe in the next year, we'll look back and go like, what were we even talking about?
What were we thinking?
Yeah.
And I think that's okay because it just shows that everybody has the capacity to grow and change.
Yeah, and I think one of like the benefits of this rapid increase in platforms like social media and music is that we're able to destigmatize conversations such as this.
Yeah.
Like performance anxiety has always, in the very conservative sense in like classical performance, way back many years ago, I feel that it was a very taboo subject. Like you don't talk about it because the more you talk about it, the more you speak it into existence or something. But now we are able to talk about it in a place that acknowledges the issue and finds steps in order to deal with it.
I didn't realize there was a stigma in classical music about performance anxiety.
This may also be a personal, that's what I experienced and what I saw when I read different books. But I don't know if that is 100% valid and accurate. So fact check me, whoever's going to edit this video.
No, and I think like there's a huge sense of cultural context as well when it comes into it. Because I mean, like we said earlier about, you know, the Asian show face, you know, like family name, blah, blah, blah. I think there's less of a stigma, depending on what kind of family you come from. There's less of a stigma around that now as well. Not to say that it doesn't matter, but opinions and ideas of it are changing. And I think that's why like the internet is kind of a blessing and a curse, because we can quite clearly, I feel, mark these gradual changes. But just because we can mark these gradual changes doesn't mean that we're gonna be there in 20 years and be like, this was completely fine.
Correct.
Because it might not be. Oh my gosh, I wonder what like 37-year-old me is gonna think of all of this.
Maybe you should tell yourself a note to the future Emma.
Note to future Emma. Did things get worse?
That's not a note, that's a question.
Yeah.